Get into the SB 1070. We have to get into this bill because I just cannot believe all of the manufactured fear that's been happening. So we need to really get into it. We need to ask Dr. Chris Salvino truly what he thinks of it, as well as everyone is saying about all this manufactured fear. So without any further ado, do you like it?
SB 1070.
Yes. SB 1070.
SB 1070. I'm going to tell you my opinion of that, but I don't want your audience to lose sight of the bigger picture. So let's talk about that, and then let's go to the bigger picture.
Got it.
I'm in favor of SB 1070. But let's say you're not. So let's say I agree and you don't. Well, we can agree on one other thing. More important, the border is our national security, and it is a civ. We have no border security right now. That's the main issue here right now. We must talk about that border. I've been to the border.
Yes, you have.
Would you like to talk about that?
I would. Tell me about the cartels, because I've done some research on you. You've actually had firsthand, witnessing of the murders. The people being gunned down, just, civil people that, really just, they got caught in crossfire of the war, of the cartel wars. Tell us about that.
Well, what got me interested in this, first off, is we are in Phoenix. We're not at the border, but we're close. And I'm seeing the ravages of the border here up in Phoenix.
Here in Phoenix?
Yeah, we're seeing...
In this trauma center right here?
Yeah, we are.
Come on, Dr. Salvino.
I'm not lying to you. This is true. Gunshots, stab wounds, car accidents coming from the cartel, coming from the felons coming across the border. So, but before the audience thinks something wrong about me, I've got compassion for people all over the world. I've done volunteer surgery in Mexico, Bolivia, Kenya, and 4 weeks in Somalia. So I have compassion as a physician. But I'm seeing the ravages of illegal immigration and the lack of our border almost on a daily basis. The border is a sieve.
So you like it. Okay, very well. Then you are like I am. You're concerned about the people of Arizona. It's nothing about any kind of prejudice or anything like that. You're not talking about any kind of racial profiling, because I understand their concerns. I really do, okay? But I also know one thing as well, too. A lot of people are talking about how the violence is, they think we're a little ways from the border. Well, it's almost like we're right on the border. And now here you have just chiseled in granite for me that it is true. We're getting the violence right here in your trauma center.
We are the #1 kidnapping city in America.
Yes,
due to the
correct.
cartels. The #2 home invasion city in the world due to the cartels.
I know, but do you honestly think, is like I told someone the other day, okay, watch how you say that until you have the facts to back it up. Is that all from illegals, though? Is that percentage that you're talking about, #1, is that all derived from the illegals?
A big portion that's coming from that particular population.
Okay, what would you do about it then?
I've been to the border. The border is a sieve. The border doesn't really exist in the way you would think about it and the way I would think about it. I visited a great American named John, a cattle rancher, 4th generation, has his property on the border. Guess how many people cross illegally his property on a daily basis?
I have to say probably 10,000.
A daily?
Well,
100.
100.
He has 100 people crossing his property on a daily basis, jumping over the fence, coming across, and not being picked up by the border agents necessarily. So when a great American like John, 4th generation, has this many people crossing the border on a daily basis, that's a problem. And it's not just people looking for work anymore. That was one issue. We have the cartels crossing, as you pointed out. We have the felons taking up about 25% of our prisons. And if they've not yet crossed, they're going to, the terrorists. So people looking for work, the cartels, the felons, and the terrorists are all crossing our border, and our border is too porous.
So do you think Al Sharpton just doesn't care about the people, that all he cares about is himself, getting publicity? Because what you just said, any average American, any elementary level American can comprehend the fact that, hey, if it keeps going like this, we're going to be a war zone right here. We're going to be worried about walking out our door.
It is a war zone. The border is a war zone. It's where the cartels live right now. By the way, I've got compassion for not just Americans, but also for the Hispanic population, too. I was in Mexico, and I did volunteer surgery in November. And I operated with a guy who was my age, a surgeon my age. We operated together, and he's from Mexico. He was so scared for his family that every night he went home, he would not go back to the hospital. He went home because he was afraid his family was going to get kidnapped. And guess where he went? This is a good Mexican surgeon, highly qualified. Guess where he went the day after I left Mexico?
Oh, tell us.
He went to Canada looking for a job. So I understand that they're also feeling the ravages of the cartel on that side of the border. But our border right now is a sieve. It's not controlled. It's a national security threat. DR CHRISFOR Congress.com. It's interactive. You can blog, ask me questions, we'll respond, take polls, read articles, watch videos, including watch videos of this show. We'll put it up there.
Wow, we have to put it up there because
we're going to.
This show is probably going to get you in Congress.
Well, I hope so. That's why we're here.
Exactly right. Now, like I told you, we went to the commercial break. I had something to talk more about, okay, the border, okay? Well, let me tell you something. Guess what? We're going to the border together. Yep. I want to take the Micheal Crawford show on the road. We're going to go down there. Now, tell all my viewers what will be going on down there.
We're going to go on the border, and this will be a serious trip now. We're going to have a very serious trip. We're going to meet some ranchers or a rancher down there. We're going to see the ravages of what's coming across the border on a daily basis. The border, many people think, is owned by the cartels. It's a very dangerous spot. In fact, the rancher I met was so afraid for his safety. And he's like a John Wayne guy. He's really a stoic guy.
Wow.
He won't wear a holster. He won't take his cell phone out of his pocket if he sees someone crossing because he's afraid he could get shot. It's a dangerous place to go. But we have to go down there, and you know why?
Why?
We've got to continue to tell the story about what's happening on the border.
So you and I are going to sit right there on the border, okay, and we're going to film these 100 people coming over daily.
Well, we're going to talk to the rancher. We're going to see what's coming across the border. Yeah, we're going to take a look at what's going on down there.
Okay, now...
Because the border affects Phoenix. The border affects Colorado. The border affects New York. Our border is too porous. It's becoming a national security threat.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Let's get back to, because again, I've always said when it's all, when it's all said and done, a lot was said, but little was done. So I want to know right now, and all the Micheal Crawford Get Excited viewers want to know, tell me then, your first plan, when you put this all together, and you had this plan, kind of like you wrote the 7-page health bill, okay, healthcare plan. I want you now to tell us about your 3-page or 5-page or 10-page, how are you going to rectify the border?
Glad you brought that up, because our plan for the border is coming out this week, and our plan is a 12-step plan. The first 3 steps are the most important. Step number 1, the fence that's up there. You think if there's a fence down there, there's a fence, but it's only covering half the border. And the fence that's up there is 10 feet tall. There's no wire at the top. You can cross it in about 2 minutes. So we've got to reinforce the fence, number 1. Number 2, we've got 20,000 border agents, but they're not all on the border. They're behind the border too. They all need to be up on the border like the goal line defense in a football game. Step number 3, take a part of the game plan from the Israelis. They have blockhouses every half mile or so up on top of the border.
They do.
We need to take our agents, put them up in the blockhouses so they could see on the other side, look down, see on the other side, bulletproof glass, one-way mirrors, so they're safe and secure. Those 3 steps of our 12 steps are critical to taking back our border.
So will you do that? Will you, first thing, when you say this is the day after you've just been elected, okay, tell the viewers of the Micheal Crawford Get Excited show, do you feel that's more important than the health care plan? What are you going to work on first? I want to know. When you get in there, what are you going to do for the people in Arizona?
Our campaign's been about 4 critical issues, and those are 2. Health care, border security, unemployment, and the economy. I need to focus on those 4 critical issues. We've got to work on that plus other things in Washington.
Wow! Get excited, Arizona. This could be really good. I have to tell you, Chris. But I just hope that you're not one of those guys, again, like I said, when it's all said and done, a lot was said, but little was done. I want to know, you're going to guarantee, you're going to look right in that camera and guarantee if we put you in office, okay, that you are definitely going to make a difference.
Michael, I'm going there as your neighbor. I'm going there as a citizen legislature. I'm the anti-candidate. I'm not going on a joyride. I'm going there to help fix Washington. When the job is done, there's no reason why I can't come back home and come back to this trauma center and go back to work.
Wow! There you have it, Arizona. I'm here to tell you right now, Dr. Chris Salvino, running for the United States House of Representatives, 5th congressional seat. You have to just do this, okay? I've told you over and over again, vote the Bible. Look at the man, look at the candidate, that every move they make is focused on the principles of the Bible. I lately have been very fortunate. God has blessed me because I've been interviewing people that they have that daily routine where everything, decision they're making is focused on the principles of the Bible. I think we have a man here that he's just not going to talk the talk. He's going to walk the walk. I feel that way. So you have 30 seconds left. That's why I'm going to an hour. We've got to go to an hour. But tell everybody the last 30 seconds, what do you want everybody to remember about Dr. Chris Salvino?
Great question. This is why I'm running. You and I had the shot at the American dream growing up. At this rate we're going, our children and grandchildren are going to be stuck in the American nightmare. We have to go back in 2010 and take back America and make it better. That's why I'm going to Washington.